Hey guys, and welcome back to Zmam, Zombies, Movies, and More. Dustin and I are back on the case,
Hey guys.
and we are here to talk over Blade Runner. And actually,
2049.
2049. So, first I want to give you just a quick background. So, Blade Runner series, you have this big corporation called the Tyrell Corporation, and they have created these replicant, these human-looking robots to basically do slave labor to go and explore the galaxy, to find new places, and just do things that we as humans can't easily do. And obviously you can work them to death and they still just keep on running. But eventually there's a small revolt, and now that they're seeing that they're basically volatile and whatnot, they basically decide to wipe them out, which creates thus the Blade Runners, which Harrison Ford plays in the original. And basically they are bounty hunters kind of in a way, except they don't bring them back. They're more like assassins really.
Yeah,
So they're going to kill these replicants. So again, in the first Blade Runner, you had a series like I think 4 or 5 replicants. Rutger Hauer was actually one of the lead guys. He's a wonderful actor from the 80s if you love The Hitcher or any of those old thriller movies, and they actually have some other sci-fi. So, and actually he was in one of the Batman movies too. Just on a little side note, he played one of the board members. He goes, "Didn't you get the memo?" That was that guy.
Oh,
yeah. That's Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
So, anyways, a little side trivia there. So,
Okay.
So Rutger Hauer and his crew, they're trying to survive, and anyways, Harrison Ford's battle these replicants and kills most of them. But during that movie, he meets Rachel, which is this replicant that works for the main owner of the Tyrell Corporation, I guess Tyrell himself, and he kind of starts falling in love with her.
Yeah.
And over time, and by the end of the movie, again, there will be spoilers throughout all this, he falls fully in love with her, and they decide basically to leave and I guess start a life together. So that's where we kind of leave off in the first Blade Runner movie. Overall, the first Blade Runner, although some could say slow and a long movie, for the time and what really was doing, I mean, the graphics were on key.
Yep.
Even the dialogue scenes, like you gave it, what'd you say, it was kind of a noir?
Noir, yeah, kind of like a sci-fi futuristic noir. More kind of that investigative, dark,
Investigative
gritty
drama. Yeah, dark, gritty, yes.
Not really your sci-fi shoot 'em up, Star Wars. And you got what? It was 1982 when that movie came out, so you're
Not long
right on
after
the
the
heels
first Star Wars.
of Star Wars, and
Yep.
it kind of gave you that different take on sci-fi and future fantasy. And
Yeah.
I think the movie was set in 2019, the original
Yeah.
Blade Runner, so,
Which is funny.
which is next year.
We're almost there, guys.
Ridley, you're a little
Yeah, flying cars and everything else. A lot of those
Close.
80s flicks, man, they totally just bombed in
Yeah.
the years. Why don't they say like 2019? Like, okay, now we got some time to work this stuff
Yeah,
out.
and I guess at the time the pace of technology was so rapid
Yeah.
in the 80s that
We'll get there.
You have to think that like in 2019, man, we're gonna be flying around, all
So,
kinds of crazy stuff.
so Blade Runner was a really good movie, and so now we have Blade Runner 2049,
Yep.
which just released in late 2017, starring Ryan Gosling and a slew of other actors. Harrison Ford is back. And so you want to just talk about the intro a little bit?
Yeah. So I was kind of surprised, and I just watched it a few days ago. I was surprised to see Dave Bautista in the opening scenes. So
Now, where did he come from? Originally, where's Dave from? Is he a wrestler or something like that?
Yeah, he's a wrestler. So he was in the WWE, years ago. Back when I was in high school.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Quite a long time ago, and then obviously he's moved into film with Guardians of the Galaxy is obviously most popular.
Right, and
probably
yeah, that's most
films
popular.
he's done.
And I told Dustin he was also in the most recent Riddick movie.
Yeah,
Sorry, since
yeah.
I catch play. Yeah, Riddick movie.
So I was really kind of cool to see him show up in those opening scenes, and I was surprised by that. And then you have Gosling coming in. So
Gosling's Agent K.
Yep, Agent K. He's a Blade Runner, just like Deckard was.
But what else is he?
He's also a replicant.
A replicant.
Yeah.
So they've recreated these replicants now. They've brought them back. So let's get back to it real quick. So the Tyrell Corporation, after the whole uprising and stuff, basically it failed and they went like bankrupt. And so this really rich guy named Wallace, who played Jared Leto in the movie, comes in and buys up the Tyrell Corporation to take over it. So now Wallace has access to all these secret files and things, and he starts, finding out what the Tyrell Corporation was doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, while that's going on, they've brought back replicants, and they want them to be more obedient and only obey. So that's what they do. And however, we start to see that some of them even start to think for themselves a little bit here and there.
Yep.
But Agent K, Ryan Gosling, he pretty much is, like you said, Blade Runner detective. He follows rules and everything to the key. It was cool. We got a chance to see what those tests were all about.
Yeah.
He has to go in to make sure these conditions, he's still following the letter of the Blade, or excuse me, of the replicant. So it's like this quick base questioning system, and I guess if they answer anything that's too human, or maybe they have thoughts for themselves.
They hesitate, or anything. It took me a while to understand like what was going on.
Yeah, because it sounded like he was just repeating them, but I guess the
Yeah.
point is, if for any second you hesitate for even more than a millisecond, I think it's, they see it as, there's something wrong with
Was
you.
it the baseline test? I think is what they called
Yeah.
that when he came in. So yeah, to see him, so like Gosling comes in, obviously Batista. I think he's still rounding up like those older model replicants.
So they find that he this Bautista guy is his name's Sap or something, and he's hanging out off in this wasteland area. You know, nothing's growing out there, and he basically goes to go take him out. And when he finds them, they get into some dialogue and whatever, and some very curious dialogue because you're trying to figure out what all is going on, but you find out pretty quickly that obviously Agent K is a robot because he's being slammed through walls and everything else, and yet he's still standing and they're fighting. But Batista makes this comment. He goes, "You'll never understand. You've never witnessed a miracle," which all of a sudden starts to spark your curiosity as a watcher. You're like, "What in the hell is this guy talking about?"
Yeah.
And it just kind of starts spiraling out from there. So then he starts searching, and again back to the special effects. He has this drone on his car. They can go around and survey the area. They find some kind of box that's buried way underneath the ground, and it has the remains of Rachel. And Rachel was the original replicant that fell in love with Harrison Ford in the first Blade Runner. So now the story starts building, right?
Yep.
So go ahead from there. We got.
So that's when he comes back. He has to do his baseline test again, and then his captain or kind of leader of his force is played by Robin Wright.
Robin Wright.
So she's kind of calling the shots for him, and he comes into her
and she
office
has
a lot.
some kind of strange.
Yeah, you get a sense of that.
She
a little
wants to.
later
She
on.
wants to do them.
Yeah, and maybe it almost seems like maybe that's happened before.
Maybe.
She comes into his apartment at one point, and he's kind of like referencing and hinting around that maybe something's going on.
Yeah, she was definitely being forward,
Um,
but
and
very
then-
kind of cool.
And then you get to see a little bit more of Ryan Gosling's life too at home in his apartment. So he has Joy.
How would you describe Joy?
Joy's almost like a advanced Siri, or like
there you go. I like that.
what's the Amazon Echo thing?
God, I can't even think of it. That's how much I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But either way,
I'm not into that.
But she can see her.
Yeah.
But she's bound within the limits of his small apartment because it's like on a rail system. So wherever that rail.
Alexa. I was trying to think of
Alexa. There you go.
Yeah, there's like a railing system on his ceiling, and then it kind of like this arm can kind of rotate around and kind of shoot down the projection of Joy.
Yep.
So you could see her, and he interacts with her in that way. And it's
Ana de Armas, which I didn't know much about her, but check her out on IMDb or whatnot. She's very talented.
Yeah. Yeah. Talented. Yeah.
Very. Actually, she was a good actress.
Yeah, she
but
was.
She's also very attractive too. So.
Yeah. But it was really interesting to kind of see that relationship, and there's love there. Like you could tell.
Yeah. So she's designed basically to say your every want and desire,
Yeah, right.
but now so like I said, I call this a very beautiful movie just because of the way it was done and the dialogue, and like you can tell like he has feelings. I mean, she's not even materialized, but there's something there.
Yeah.
And then so eventually, just to skip forward a little bit, he buys. So I guess he gets paid good money after each one of these replicants he takes out. He buys this system that very much allows her to, like, it's like a Wi-Fi network system that she can go anywhere with him now, and actually almost materialize into an actual form. And so they did some really cool. There's even a sex scene or whatever like that later on that was just, it's kind of blew your mind a little bit, and it's like, man, is this what the future could possibly hold for?
That scene was like crazy to me. So
that was wild.
He meets
what's her
name?
I don't remember her name.
I don't remember her. Mackenzie Davis is her.
Okay.
Is the actress's name. She's played in a few other things.
So she's a replicant escort, if you will, whatever.
Yeah.
And so he finds her. She's interested in him. He's kind of interested. But anyways, Joy, I guess, knew that they had met, and so she hired her basically to come to the apartment, and then they could sync together somehow.
Yeah.
And so like she was kind of visible, but at times not. It was just.
Which the
very
effects
wild.
were. That was
the
so
effects
crazy
were-
to me.
yeah.
They like layered Joy's visuals over.
Sorry, guys. Dang it. One of these days, I'm going to work it out.
They like layered the visuals over Mackenzie Davis's body.
Body,
And it's like
her face.
it's kind of a morphing of the two.
And it kept going in and out.
It's in and out.
Very
it was
well
really,
done.
really cool.
That's
Yeah,
why the
really
special
well done.
effects, and you're saying for the Oscars coming up.
Yeah, so they were nominated for visual style, or like
Cinematography, maybe?
cinematography, and then or was it screen? Yeah, cinematography, and then like effects, visual effects.
And let me tell you, this movie is fully deserving. And I love Star Wars and whatnot. Well, if you saw Last Jedi, well, maybe not so much.
Of Star Wars.
But we love Star Wars. And but I think this one would definitely have to win it just because the authenticity of it all and just everything just looking just awesome.
Yeah.
So we highly recommend this movie as we move forward with this. But the movie starts really starting taking a trip for the wild when you find out that Rachel was pregnant. The replicant Rachel was pregnant. So Harrison Ford and her had a baby. Okay, how's this possible? Some people were wondering, and there was fan theories a long time ago. Was Harrison a replicant?
Right.
Which I don't believe so.
No, and I think I saw some interviews of I think Ridley Scott wanted him to be a replicant.
Oh, really?
But Harrison Ford had done some interviews saying no, he was human the whole time. So.
But also, if you think about later in the movie when you finally do see Harrison, which by the way is a very long way into the movie, but it is a long movie. It's like 2 hours and 43,
it's
43
lengthy.
minutes. But when you do finally see him, the scenes where there's an awesome scene when they get found or whatever, we'll just say it that way, and then Harrison's already running his way out to his car, his flying car, whatever, and Agent K, Ryan Gosling, just barrels through the wall. Like, I don't know, 4 sheets of drywall and studs, whatever, just barrels. Obviously, if Harrison Ford was a replicant, he wouldn't have worried about doors. He wanted to get out of there. Yeah. So I think the movements, everything that was done, it's pretty sure that he is human, definitely. Yeah. So you have this human, you have a replicant, they had a baby.
He's obviously aged quite a bit since the original Blade Runner. So
that's another thing too. You're right. And so this baby they're trying to track down, and Wallace wants this child because this child could be the key to unlocking all future technology. Because I think Wallace wants replicants maybe to take over.
Yeah, he made some interesting comments about kind of his army of replicants and how constrained they are by just production.
Oh yeah, they can't
make enough of them. The ability to produce, they just can't make enough of them. But if they could reproduce and create new replicants by reproducing, then how many more could they have? So
search the galaxy. I mean, you'd have that many more units being able to go out and do work.
Right.
So that's his motives. And then meanwhile, let's not forget. So he has this kind of not second in command, but his kind of assassin chick, or whatever. Which at first you think she's just an administrative assistant or whatever type. Definitely not. Nope. She's as deadly as can be, and man, does she take some people out in this movie.
Dude, the doctor,
the coroner guy.
The coroner guy. Oh man, that was brutal.
And I think that the scene, she I guess nails him behind his neck.
Yeah.
But the point of her being a replicant and the speed and action of her must have hit with such a traumatic force that this dude is he immediately drops to the ground, and his eyes are it was nasty. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
nicely done. But the movie keeps going on, and then as you start to find out, Ryan Gosling keeps having these images, these flashbacks to a younger age and whatever, when he was a little boy, and this little wooden horse toy, and these kids that were kind of teasing him and trying to get it from him, because he was at this orphanage. So he's trying to figure out why does he have these visions, and as he keeps going through, they find out that he might actually be the baby, the love child.
Yeah. And so to kind of hit on that a little bit, the replicants have these memories created and installed in them, all of them do, to kind of give them that sense of life and memory. And
he meets a lady who creates these things, but we'll hold off on that for right now. But yeah, so he meets this woman, a doctor who works for Wallace, and she creates these memories by hand, if you will, designing them and making them really real and authentic, and then again they place them in the replicants.
So I think he's thinking throughout the movie that it's just an implanted memory, but it feels so real. And eventually you find Gosling gets to that orphanage where he was having those flashbacks, and he actually sees
because remember where he hid it?
The furnace where
there was an area where he hid the horse, and how else would he know that? So he goes there and he finds the damn thing.
Yeah. And it had a date scribbled on
it,
the
date
kind of carved into.
So things just keep spiraling more out of control. So you got the assassin looking for them, and then Ryan Gosling now is looking for Deckard, which is Harrison Ford's character, because he wants to know more.
Yep.
Is this his dad? And this. We finally get forward through a little bit more, not to draw this out too long, but we find out that Ryan Gosling probably isn't the child. It's just that these memories were instilled in him, and they were so authentic. And then you get some cool action scenes. There's a really cool battle between Ryan Gosling, Agent K, and Love, the assassin for the Wallace character, and they get after it pretty solid.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, they're like on this ocean front. It's at night. Very well done, just overall. And Harrison Ford, meanwhile, is tied up in there, about to drown and stuff. And it was very intense. The whole movie, it kept you wanting more.
Yeah.
This isn't one where, no doubt, as long as it is, I mean, if you're not into sci-fi, you're probably not going to be into this movie. It's a fantasy sci-fi, but major gritty drama, like we were just talking earlier. So if you're into that, especially the sci-fi part, you're really gonna love this.
And I think it's not an action laden movie. It's not going to be anything like.
But the scenes
shoot
they
'em ups.
do.
But I think that makes the movie, because the scenes where they do have like those intense fight scenes or that conflict, it's just so much more impactful because it's not laced throughout the movie as often as you would see in other sci-fi thrillers. So I think it even amplifies that a little bit more. And then one of my favorite things about the movie, just the score.
Yes.
Oh my God! Like
it's
the
really good.
music and the scoring is just so good, and it kind of adds that extra layer that takes. I think scoring takes a movie from like a good movie to a really great experience. And Blade Runner, absolutely, the score just totally did that.
They took the similar sounds I know from the original. It was like the horns and stuff like that. Those whatever.
Kind of like that synth.
Yes, the synthesized, and it is a lot of synthesized, but everything, like you said, it's just beautifully mixed. So if you love good scores, this is another good one you need to check out too.
Yep.
So overall, we both decided we'd give this one a 9 out of 10.
Yep.
Honestly, it could probably even be a little bit higher because I mean it's very rare you come across an awesome sci-fi drama like this.
Yep. And then we find out maybe a sequel in the future. I don't know. They left some room there. I think with Wallace still kind of out on the loose, and
we didn't tell you in this one who the child actually is, and I think we're going to leave it at that. If you want to watch it, we'll leave that last piece for you to find out. It's surprising towards the end. And now that you know it's not Ryan, but you know it's somebody else that's inside the movie, there's this awesome scene at the end where Ryan, he had already done his major battling, and I think he got wounded, like fatally, or mortally, excuse me. And so he's laying on the steps, and he kind of just looks up at the sky, and it's just a beautiful ending for his character in general. And I think some of us would like to hope that maybe he lived, which, not to say they couldn't have taken, I mean, I'm sure he has a memory storage. I mean, Agent K could come back. And Ryan Gosling, what did you think about his performance overall?
Fantastic.
I thought so.
He did really
I think he is an underrated actor.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he chooses very carefully his movies. Yeah, I think he values his time probably as a person, an actor. I'm not sure if he's a family man or not, but
I think he is. Yeah. Well, he's with Eva Mendes. I think they have a kid. So I mean, I'd probably be home a lot.
They got plenty of work to do. But he is a very good actor.
Yeah. So very talented. I like most of his movies.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for coming out and joining us on Blade Runner 2049. Check it out. Even go back and check out the original Blade Runner, 1982?
82, I believe. 82. Yeah.
Ridley Scott, some of the finer work he's done, no doubt. So
and let us know what you think if you've seen the movie, and
like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. You know, we're trying to build the channel, and we'll see you next time.
All right, see you guys.